besides just being light, because, yeah, that's a weakness, whatever. But Ori is also a fast faller. A light fast faller means that that character, when losing neutral, as you said on paper, gets punished harder than Kragg will. And Kragg only needs like 5 or 6 hits to get Ori to kill percent.
And not only that, but like those hits can often be those fares that carry Ori off stage to set off that edge guard as well. Yeah. And the other thing too is, as much as we talked about like the disjoint potential of Sign, like Ori itself doesn't actually have much disjoint, right? It actually has kind of stubby hitboxes. It's the speed that makes up for that difference in terms of threat range.
Yeah, Ori loses trades in this matchup, and we are moving right now
to
Forest Floor to start off for game 1.
Yeah, this is going to have a shorter blast zone than the other starters in terms of the top. And also kind of a scary offstage with so little platform play. I think this actually really favors Ori because so much of Ori's strength comes to the horizontal movement speed of this character, both in the air and on the ground.
Right.
And having the ability to fade back as far as you need is going to really help out here.
Yeah, one thing to note on these blast zones for the stage is the side blast zones are pretty far off the stage, but the top blast zone is pretty close. And in that regard, I think it actually does help Kragg quite a bit. So I can see why MSB would allow this to happen as well.
Right. Kragg down strong and up strong being fantastic off the top options. And up air as well.
And Ori wanting to push Kragg off stage with the up airs. Ori wants the edge guard. Ori doesn't want to necessarily kill you off the top as often. That's what Ori wants right there.
Yeah, yeah. And we saw like little hints already of like Kusi hitting a couple times with up airs and then sitting back to watch what MSB's DI is. Because holding in against Ori off stage can set you up for a bash, which can lead to your stock evaporating very, very early. But it puts Ori in free fall to attempt and whip.
Right.
Very risky option to just throw out as a random read.
And wow, that sign charge going to be detonated right there. And going down to the pillar, oh man, that's something that we didn't see as much against ZB, was going down there and actually punishing the Kragg.
And especially the angle of that up air sent, right? It was away from the wall, so MSB couldn't even try that frame perfect tech.
Right. Yeah, MSB has been having pretty good ledge dashes overall, but Kusi's just been on top of him. I love when Kusi does that.
Yeah,
it's my favorite, absolutely. The 360, 720, everything no scope, and Kragg is going to find it there. Just completely raw, waiting for the Ori to make a mistake while Ori was waiting for maybe a panic option from MSB.
Especially when you're at that high of a percent too, like slowing down the tempo of the game so you can run away with momentum. Oh boy, Kusi caught off stage.
Yeah, here's the edge guard, no air dodge, but the fair coming back, maybe not disjointed, but very large hitboxes and something that Ori can use very well to recover.
Did you see that setup, tossing the rock straight up and breaking it with the side special and then being able to break cancel off of that? MSB has endless tech with this character.
Watching MSB recover is like watching a circus act.
Yes.
He does things with this character that you'll never see anyone else do ever, even if they study his VODs. But doesn't really matter if you can't recover nonstop.
Right.
Kusi taking that with a clean 2-stock.
And there's a reason that like the recovery master of Kragg even says that like recovering against this character requires perfection, right?
Yep.
And like it is a level of perfection that is so hard to achieve in practice.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Kusi just absolutely controlled everything to a T.
Yes.
The only stock Kusi lost was off of a raw strong attack, and that is something you generally see out of desperation from players. When you don't think you can find the opening to get a combo starter or a confirm, you just throw it out.
Yeah.
And if that's the only way you're losing stocks, you're going to be looking really good for the rest of the set.
Yeah, because it just kind of shows how much in control you are in the neutral that they have to go for the wild card options and going to be able to catch the end of the side special. Beautiful. Right there, MSB tried to end it off stage to just have a chance to fall to the wall and wall jump off, and Kusi just denied that with the disjoint of forward strong.
Yeah, Kusi already. This is an interesting choice because Kraggs love this stage. It's huge. It has a lot of room to move, but I think this is also one of Ori's best stages too.
It's a stage where I know, especially with Kragg's nair and the control of being able to fall off the platform. Wonderful stuff, catching that tech straight up.
That was nair into nair, sign charge nair bash.
Wow.
That is control of this character that we have not seen ever.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's so exciting about Kusi is we've always known, talking to top players, that Ori is one of the strongest characters in the game, and now we're seeing that potential brought out on the biggest stage. And
goes for the second nair, but MSB getting a quick tech air dodge and actually getting back on stage, but now Yeah, Ori down there, Kusi down there. It doesn't get the Galaxy, but it doesn't matter.
It's one of those situations, like, how are you supposed to DI there? Because if you try to hold in too hard, there was that second back air already inside the blast zone, right? To catch anything less than death DI.
Yeah, and if I was Kusi there and MSB somehow survived, I would die for that stock.
Yes.
Kusi's at 3 stocks, MSB's at 1. I'm just going to make sure we're both dead at that point. One thing that I also love doing myself as Ori that we haven't even seen the need for yet is getting rid of the pillar by running off and up specialing the pillar, air dodging up and back to stage. So then that wall pillar is just gone, and now the Kragg has to go back on stage. But like I said, we haven't seen it because we haven't needed to see it.
Yeah, Kusi's just been so fast with the moments where he chooses to do a dive on that pillar. Wait, is that a... Okay, I see a new tag coming out from MSB, which indicates to me a character swap to Clarin to go up against the Ori. Now, as one of the best Clarins in the world, I'm actually really curious to hear your thoughts on this counter pick.
I think Clarin Ori is a Ori favored matchup. However, it is a matchup a little bit easier than Kragg, because if you do find that opening as Clarin, the recovery for Ori is way harder, and he's rocking the 4 esport tag. Which
with the Arizona as well?
Clarin, my heart is full right now. Thank you, MSB.
Regardless of the result, you won this game.
Yeah, and not only that,
we're
getting some AZ chance in the crowd. We're getting the Merchant Fort as well. I think so. MSB does have a real Clarin as a secondary, but I do think that this switch is a little bit of a concession almost, recognizing that the Kragg wasn't going to be able to do it. I did not see him practicing the Clarin at all backstage, so this is not going to be worn. But it's actually doing extremely well in neutral right now and finding some percentage already. Like I said, this is a lot easier to win neutral, and then Clarin is a great edgeguard character against Ori.
Right. But she has to find her way back to stage again. Clarin having a much worse recovery than Kragg makes that so much scarier, and the chase with the air dodge to get just that little bit extra distance for that final up air puts Kusi in the stock lead right now.
Yeah, one thing that, even though Clarin does do better in neutral than Kragg, he's still, like, the meta of this game is whiff punishing. Clarin is the most susceptible character to whiff punishing, and Ori is one of the best at it in general. You add all those things together and then include the edgeguard that Ori can do to Clarin, and you have a rough time, and we're seeing it right now. Yeah, look at that little bit of movement, the wave dashes forward and back to make sure the sign never left those platforms.
Right, and then on top of it too, right, Kusi was still in range to rush in and punish the whiff parry from MSB. And 128, like, on Ori, this is, like, terrifying percent, but Kusi still is in so much control. We are not seeing him back off. He's looking for that next up air and finds it once again.
Oh, my gosh. The air dodge to continue the chain twice in a row now for both of these stocks against the Clarin. And you say that 120 is a little bit scary for Ori, but actually in the Clarin matchup, we're at a spot where we're going to get a little bit of Claritis.
Ah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, because 137%, it's not going to be easy to confirm off of with a straight hit. You're going to need to start an edge guard. You're going to need to push the Ori off stage and just catch a recovery. And we're not seeing it right now. There we go. Landing a downer and getting the little bit of a dance. MSB having a good time out here. Let's go.
He's always so happy to just make it onto the top 6 stage. And there we go, the bash on the DI.
With the 360.
With the 360 no-scope.
Whirly-durly.
And Kusi wins 3-0 over MSB. Then that last bash, right, we said the previous 2 stocks were trying to DI away from that up air chain.
Yeah.
And Kusi knew, was like, okay, after dying to that twice, you're going to start holding in, right? Here's the bash.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, even if he held out, Kusi was following up on all of those holdouts or half DIs or whatever you want to call it with an air dodge and then just continuing the chain.
Yeah.
It was a display of just pure dominance.